Most gun owners don't know what they own, not because they're careless, because the market was never designed to tell them. Dealers built entire business models on that gap. What a firearm is truly worth versus what an uninformed owner accepts, that's where fortunes quietly transfer hands. 8 firearms sit in that gap right now. Finite production runs, documented provenance, collector demand the secondary market has consistently undervalued. 8 guns, genuine appreciating value. Here's why selling even one could be the decision you never recover from. This video is for educational purposes only and does not promote harm or unsafe use of firearms. Number 8. Walther PPS M2. The Walther PPS M2 is the kind of pistol people sell too quickly, and years later regret it without even realizing why. At first glance, it doesn't scream collector piece or future classic. It's slim, simple, almost understated. But that's exactly how many legendary firearms start, quietly doing their job so well that they earn a reputation over time instead of chasing attention. The PPS M2 represents a moment in handgun evolution where concealed carry finally became comfortable without sacrificing shootability. Walther refined the ergonomics to a level most competitors struggled to match, giving you a grip that feels natural, almost custom, even in such a slim frame. The trigger is where it really leaves its mark, clean, crisp, and consistent, delivering a shooting experience that stands out even years after its release. On the range, it's controlled, predictable, and surprisingly accurate for its size, making it more than just a carry gun. It's a pistol you actually enjoy shooting. But here's where things shift into long-term thinking. The PPS M2 has already been discontinued, and that changes everything. When a well-built firearm with a strong reputation leaves production, it doesn't disappear. It becomes harder to find, more desirable, and eventually more valuable. This isn't just a tool anymore, it's a snapshot of a specific era in concealed carry design. Selling it today might feel like nothing, but holding on to it could mean owning something that quietly becomes worth far more than you ever expected. Number 7. Springfield Hellcat Pro. The Springfield Hellcat Pro is one of those pistols that feels modern today, but that's exactly why it has the potential to become something far more valuable tomorrow. When it launched, it wasn't just another compact handgun. It was part of a shift in the industry, where capacity, concealability, and performance finally started coming together in one refined package. The Hellcat Pro took everything that made micro-compacts popular and stretched it into something more shootable, more balanced, and more practical for real-world use. In the hand, it feels confident, with a grip that gives you full control without sacrificing its slim profile, and ergonomics that naturally guide your aim. The trigger is clean and consistent, giving you a predictable break that builds trust shot after shot, while the optics-ready design signals exactly where the market was heading, toward faster, more adaptable shooting systems. On the range, it performs like a larger pistol, with manageable recoil and a stability that makes follow-up shots feel controlled instead of rushed. But here's why this matters long-term. This pistol represents a turning point. It's part of a generation that redefined what concealed carry guns could be. And those moments in firearm history tend to age differently. They don't just stay relevant, they become reference points. The Hellcat Pro isn't just a current favorite. It's a marker of innovation. And those are the kinds of firearms that quietly gain significance over time, making them far more valuable than people expect. Number 6. Shadow Systems MR920. The Shadow Systems MR920 is one of those pistols people buy for performance, but underestimate in terms of long-term value, and that's where the mistake begins. At first glance, it feels like a refined, upgraded take on a familiar platform, built to outperform standard striker-fired designs right out of the box. But when you look closer, it represents something bigger, a shift in how modern handguns are expected to come, configured from the factory. Shadow Systems didn't just build a pistol, they delivered a fully optimized system, enhanced ergonomics, aggressive grip texture, precision slide work, and a trigger that feels more deliberate and refined than what most shooters are used to. In the hand, it feels locked in and controlled, with a balance that encourages fast, confident shooting. On the range, it tracks smoothly, cycles cleanly, and delivers a level of consistency that builds trust quickly. But here's where it becomes interesting over time. This pistol is part of a new generation of factory-custom firearms, a category that didn't really exist in earlier decades. And when something defines a category, It doesn't just fade away, it becomes a reference point. As production evolves and newer models replace it, early examples like the MR920 can start to carry a different kind of value, not just as tools, but as milestones in design philosophy. Selling it now might seem practical, but keeping it could mean holding on to a piece of where modern handgun design truly shifted. Number 5. Stoeger STR9. Compact. The Stoeger STR9. Compact is exactly the kind of pistol people underestimate, and that's why it has the potential to surprise everyone years down the line. Right now, it sits in that budget-friendly category, often overlooked in favor of bigger names and louder marketing. But history has a pattern. Firearms that quietly deliver solid performance without hype often age into something far more respected once the market moves on. Backed by the Beretta ecosystem, the STR9 Compact carries a level of engineering discipline that most people don't even think about when they first see it. In the hand, it feels balanced and straightforward, with a grip that provides control without overcomplicating the design. The trigger is consistent and predictable, not flashy, but dependable. And that's exactly the kind of characteristic that builds long-term trust. On the range, it performs without drama, cycling smoothly and maintaining accuracy in a way that proves it was built to work, not just impress. But here's where things change perspective. When a firearm like this exists in large numbers and quietly proves itself over time, it starts to build a reputation after the fact. And once production shifts, designs change, or the market forgets about it, those who held onto it are left with something others suddenly want to rediscover. The STR9 Compact isn't chasing legacy right now. It's slowly building one in the background, and that's exactly how future value is created. Number 4. Smith & Wesson M and P9 M2.0 Compact. The Smith & Wesson M and P9 M2.0 Compact is one of those pistols that people treat like it will always be around. And that assumption is exactly why it has long-term value written all over it. This isn't just another striker-fired handgun. It's part of a lineage that has already proven itself across law enforcement, civilian carry, and serious training environments. Over the years, the M and P platform has quietly evolved, and the M2.0 Compact represents that refinement. Stronger frame, more aggressive grip texture, improved trigger feel, and overall better control under pressure. In the hand, it feels planted and confident, giving you a level of stability that encourages precise shooting without overthinking it. The trigger, while not flashy, is consistent and dependable, rewarding disciplined shooting and building trust over time. On the range, it performs with a calm, controlled recoil impulse, allowing you to stay on target and push speed without losing accuracy. But here's the part most people don't think about. This pistol represents a mature stage of a proven design, and those are often the versions collectors and enthusiasts look back on later. As newer models come in and trends shift, well-balanced, widely trusted platforms like this start to gain a different kind of appreciation. Selling it today might seem like a routine decision, but holding on to it could mean keeping a piece of a platform that defined reliability for an entire generation of shooters. Number 3. Taurus G3 Tactical. The Taurus G3. Tactical is the kind of pistol people underestimate today and then wish they hadn't let go of later. It comes from a brand that had to fight hard to rebuild its reputation, and this model represents that turning point where things started to change. Instead of chasing gimmicks, Taurus focused on delivering features that actually matter: higher capacity, optics-ready capability, and a threaded barrel straight from the factory. That combination alone puts it in a category that didn't even exist for budget-friendly pistols a few years ago. In the hand, it feels solid and purpose-driven, with a grip that offers control without overcomplicating the design, while the trigger delivers a smoother, more predictable break than most people expect. On the range, it holds its own, recoil stays manageable, cycling remains consistent, and the overall shooting experience feels far more refined than its price suggests. But here's where the long-term perspective comes in. This pistol represents a shift in how Taurus was perceived. It's part of the generation that helped rebuild trust, and those moments in a company's history often become significant over time. As newer models replace it and the market continues to evolve, early examples of that turning point can start to carry more weight than people realize. Selling it now might seem like a simple upgrade decision, but keeping it could mean holding on to a piece of when a brand proved it could change the narrative. Number 2. SIG Sauer P365. XMacro. The SIG Sauer P365. XMacro is one of those pistols that feels ahead of its time right now, but that's exactly why it has the potential to become something people wish they never sold. When it came out, it didn't just improve on the P365 line, it redefined what a carry gun could be. You're looking at a platform that delivers near full-size capacity in a slim, highly controllable frame, something that would have sounded unrealistic just a few years earlier. In the hand, it feels surprisingly balanced for what it offers, with a grip that gives you real control instead of forcing compromises for concealability. The integrated compensator changes the shooting experience entirely, reducing muzzle rise and keeping the gun flatter than most pistols in its class. Then there's the modularity. The ability to adapt and configure the system around your needs turns it into more than just a handgun. It becomes a platform you grow with. On the range, it performs with confidence, allowing fast follow-up shots and tight control, making it just as capable in training as it is in carry situations. But here's why you don't let this one go. This pistol represents a major leap in design thinking. It's part of a moment where the industry shifted expectations, and firearms that define those shifts rarely stay just another option. Over time, they become benchmarks, and benchmarks are the ones people always wish they kept. Number 1. Glock 19 Gen 5. The Glock 19 Gen 5 is the kind of pistol people assume will always be easy to replace, and that assumption is exactly why letting it go can turn into a long-term mistake. This isn't just another handgun sitting in a crowded market. It's a benchmark that has defined what a balanced, do-it-all pistol should be for decades. From its earliest versions, the Glock 19 built a reputation on reliability, simplicity, and consistency, and the Gen 5 version represents the most refined version of that legacy. In the hand, it feels familiar but improved, with the removal of finger grooves making it more adaptable, and subtle frame updates giving it a cleaner, more modern feel. The trigger is smoother, the barrel is more accurate, and the overall performance feels more controlled without losing the straightforward nature that made it famous. On the range, it delivers exactly what you expect: predictable recoil, quick return to target, and a level of consistency that builds confidence over time. But here's what people overlook. This pistol isn't just popular, it's historically significant. It represents a mature stage of a design that reshaped the industry, and firearms like that don't fade away. They become reference points. As newer models come and go, the Glock 19 Gen 5 will still be remembered as one of the defining pistols of its era. Selling it today might feel routine, but holding on to it means keeping a piece of a platform that helped set the standard everyone else still follows. Outro. So when you look at all 8 of these pistols, one thing becomes clear. Value isn't just about price, it's about timing. Some of these guns are still being made today, but their true worth may only be recognized years from now. The real question is simple. Would you sell them or keep them? Drop your thoughts below and subscribe for more.